So John, thank you for joining us for the second part of your very nice interview.
Thank you.
Conducted by me, so I can say that it was very nice. And even more importantly, you're back to press the button again on the randomiser here after your incredible choice last week of Emergency Marineville.
From Stingray.
From Stingray, indeed. What episode have you got for me this week?
Let's
press
see.
the button.
Here we go.
Let's see.
And it's Fireball XL5.
Not only is it Fireball XL5, it's actually the very first episode of Fireball XL5 I ever saw, Space Pirates. So it's a deeply nostalgic one for me, as indeed this whole thing is. John, thank you ever so much for coming in and doing the interview. And
That's a pleasure.
And now you can go.
And
you
I'm
are
very
free.
happy for you.
Me too. Now I've got to watch the thing. That's a familiar piece of music from Thunderbirds and Stingray, I think, and as far as I know, that's where it comes from. More lovely music here as we open, yes, the very first Fireball XL5 episode that I ever saw. This was on, I've mentioned it a million times before, my first exposure to the series was Volume 4 of Fireball XL5 on VHS, which I got for Christmas one year, and this was the first episode on the tape. So
I understand, Commander. We all know you wouldn't miss bingo night for anything.
I always thought she said dingo night as a kid. I never knew what bingo was at that age.
Darling, are you coming? We'll be late.
Right away, my love.
And I believe that was before they had a puppet for Eleanor. I don't remember her turning up before that. But yes, this was such a thrill to watch for the very first time, and I'm very happy to see it come up again today.
The book is old-timey, huh?
And speaking of old-timey, we have a supercar book on the shelf.
Adventures and pirates? Yeah, but it all takes place on Earth. I like space adventures. Wish there were pirates in space.
So Venus is babysitting everyone's favourite character, Jonathan Zero, who's being a bit of a brat because she bought him a book. He's not appreciating
I'll
it.
do my best. Way out in space.
So she now has to tell him a story
Say, that's Steve Zodiac's sector.
that incorporates the pirates that he has been reading about in his story.
It is a planet
This is lovely. I mean, I look at this and I think this was the first, aside from Mars in Captain Scarlet, this was my first Anderson alien planet. And I love this setup. This still looks very impressive to me today. I've always loved the robot freighter model, but the railway in the background.
Kind of weird.
Having a sign saying space freighter on the inside wall of the space freighter, as if we
Planet up there called.
don't know we're in a space freighter.
That's the planet Aridon, otherwise known as the desert planet.
Yes, this has been named from the book of Terry Nation planet names. Aridon, the arid planet. Minera, the planet of minerals.
So it is a perfect place for a pirate hideout.
Yes, and of course you never quite know if this is a real story that actually happened to the XL5 crew, or if Venus is managing to weave a rather engaging story on the fly. And just the fact that we have old-time nautical pirates of the skull and crossbone variety in a sci-fi setting.
Don't forget, we're no ordinary pirates. Our prize is the jewel of the universe.
They're going to conquer the Earth. Just the two of them. This plan could take a while. But lovely characters, instantly, recognizable. And the costumes are gorgeous. I just love these two.
Earth will be so short of atomic ore that we'll be able to take her almost single-handed.
And it sounds like they've been doing very well off screen, except for Steve Zodiac.
More than a match for him.
Oh, there's a bit of a Corporal Jones there with the old cutlass. We had to wheel the map in, Steve. It's very serious.
From Minura have been attacked in the past month. It's not just a question of valuable cargo.
But the radioactive ores we get from the planet Monera are vital to the survival of the Earth. I'm well aware of that, Commander. But things are not desperate.
If things do get desperate, I can get in my spaceship and leave, Commander. I don't see the problem here.
Pirates won't be able to tell it from a freighter until it's too late. Meanwhile, Venus and Matic are working on a substitute for the ore.
The Professor and I think we should come up with an answer very soon.
But yes, I remember getting that tape for Christmas, and this is the last you'll hear of it, because we've covered all the other episodes on the tape now, I think. I asked for it because the Thunderbirds comic had started running XL5 strips, which XL5 at that time was not being shown on BBC, and indeed would not return to British television until earlier this year. Thank you, Talking Pictures. So it was the first time that I got a sense that there was other Anderson stuff beyond what I was being allowed to see on the BBC. That there was this entire show, Fireball XL5. You know, none of my school friends knew anything about this. And then it was, of course, this gradual realization, I think from the trailer that was on the same tape. Oh, Supercar, The Protectors, Space 1999, what's all this? And the Secret Service, of course. Oh, dear. So a bit of comedy here with Professor Matic. I believe this does come into play later in the story.
You ought to know better.
Yes, conjuring tricks and sleight of hand.
I should get up to the control room as quick as you can. Ooh. Commander Zero is screaming like a Martian hippo for you.
Martian hippos scream. You heard it here first. And we're coming up on an interesting bit of puppetry that I remember was also employed in, I think, Eastern Eclipse, when you see either El Hudat or Eli Kali flopping around in the water. Water squirts out of their mouth. We're about to come up on that here as well, because Matt is about to show off another magic trick of his. And, well, he hasn't given the warning to those in the front row that they might be about to get wet. Twice, 3 times. Ah. And the coloured water is gone. Yes, I caught a bit of this on Talking Pictures when it was shown, repeated actually on there a few weeks ago. I hadn't seen it for ages and I didn't watch the whole thing. Oh, poor Zuni. Here we go. Here's the water spraying shot there. It's a brave attempt, and they would, it's something else they refined for Stingray. But I just love that Talking Pictures have picked this up now. It's great. Anywho, what are we looking at?
There you are, Commander.
Oh.
A few final adjustments in the morning and she's ready.
Oh, is this the space freighter?
Like an ordinary freighter.
Exactly.
It's the same model with a different decal, Commander.
Believe me, she packs a mighty punch.
The perfect space Q-ship. Congratulations.
Yes, they're going to try and trap the pirates, I should say. Because somehow, incredibly, these two pirates have managed to plunder quite a lot of ships. I'm sorry, Commander. I'm still apologising for earlier, Commander. I love that rolling stock in the background with the girders and such. And just, you only see that small section of the planet's surface, but it just sells the idea and suggests that so much more is there.
There's no danger.
Uh-oh.
What would any pirate want with me?
Mm-hmm.
All right, yeah.
Speaking of, there's a pirate in the cabin, Commander.
To be otherwise, Commander?
Thump.
Shall I call him back, Commander?
I love that no one in Space City Control reacts to the sound of a wrench impacting Jock's face. Oh.
Dump him overboard with a pilot.
There's another line I didn't understand as a kid. I thought the line was, don't bimbo aboard with a pirate.
Things are working out very well.
Oh, indeed they are, Captain. Indeed
But that-
they are.
That's how agreeable he is. But that almost, I suppose that must have been plasticine, something on Jock's face.
We may need that substitute for the radioactive ore yet. Robert and I can manage okay.
Okay,
Anything else you
so
need?
Yes, everything's ready, Commander, and I'm raring to go.
it's a very serious matter, all of this ore shortage, because everything's being stolen by the pirates.
Guess they're going to take ours.
That's a cute little design.
I can hear them running up the motors.
Not as appealing as the space freighter, which is such a simple little design, but I love it. Oh, beautiful little mining colony here. I love it. Again, it may be nostalgia talking, but I don't think so. I think this is a quality episode. Because it's just the disconnect between the futuristic world of XL5 and these very old-fashioned pirates. And it's almost a shame that this isn't real, that this is a story Venus is telling. Because I think the world of XL5 has plenty of room for these two. I really hope that this is something that actually genuinely happened.
You heard the radio conversation, Patch. He'll be out looking for our spaceship.
But we shan't be there, Captain.
No.
Exactly, you old space dog. Zodiac isn't the
Yes, this is the hijacked freighter. And this interior is common. A lot of spaceship interiors in XL5 did this. The bridge, for lack of a better term, was essentially just two consoles in a largely bare room.
And then...
Oh, good things in store for Steve Zodiac there, I suspect.
No sign of space engineer yet.
How much is he overdue now?
His name's
Over
Jack,
4 hours.
Lieutenant.
Any news from Steve, Commander?
No, we're maintaining neutroni radio silence, just in case the pirates should be listening in.
Good thought. Q ship. Again, we have a label on the interior of the ship so that our fearless space adventurers don't forget what ship they're in.
Takes more than a tin-pot pirate.
I also remember when I first saw this as a kid,
Let's get the lad here untied.
the guy who's with Jock here, who I don't think appeared in any other episode, I honestly thought he was an alien. I guess it's a Star Trek thing. I just assumed the World Space Patrol must have alien members among its recruits. Because the puppet does look quite strange.
Zodiac, calling freighter. Can you hear me, Jock? Jock, are you receiving me? Zodiac to freighter.
And when he gets no answer, he just won't be able to resist the temptation to come over and find out for himself.
I suppose, thinking back, this would be... I think I said last week, Emergency Marineville is like the definitive episode of Stingray. If you really want to introduce someone to Stingray with the best episode, or an episode that's going to hook them, you can't do much better than Emergency Marineville. This is a very strange episode to have been my first exposure to the series. But it never stuck out like that to me. I was instantly on board with this world and these characters. I loved these villains. I think they're great. And of course the music.
There he is now, just leaving the freighter. Here he comes.
Oh, yes. We don't quite have the technology to really do Steve's journey to the freighter justice, but we're going to give it a go. Oh, he's got his braining wrench again. Space freighter. Again, even the outside doors are labelled. He's drawn his gun. Yes. Anything else we can say he's doing? He's walking down the corridor now. He's at the door. Yep. And as Steve walks onto the bridge...
Aboard Steve Zodiac.
Say, what's going on here?
I love that. It's classic Steve. He's expecting to see a friend, a colleague, and instead, standing on the bridge is someone dressed as an old-time pirate, and he just goes, "Oh, what's going on? What's this about?" Good stuff. Poisoned? We'll die of thirst. We can't live without water. Yes, as Steve was knocked out, his ray gun hit the water supply. So they are now going back to Steve's ship to get water from there. There's a lot of coming and going in this episode. I just noticed something crept into shot there. I'm not sure what that was.
Hey, Captain. It stopped. That's all the water there is.
Why,
Oops.
you blithering idiot. You've opened all the valves.
Ah.
One of them dumps the whole of the water supply into space.
We probably should mark that with some kind of label. Otherwise Venus is just gonna get them muddled up.
And where be you going to get more water, Captain?
I've just realised, as I said about this being my introduction to the series, and this is quite an unusual episode to introduce me to Fireball XL5. Where's Fireball XL5? We saw it on the launch ramp at the beginning of the story. I think it might appear again towards the end. But yeah, my first Fireball XL5 episode is one that has very little XL5 and mostly freighters.
Is to adapt these ultra-high compression gas cylinders into a thruster pipe.
All good luck with that. It's nice to see they had more than one freighter model. Robert is, getting out of there. He's either going on or going back. He's going back to Earth, okay. He's on his way home.
You'll never get away with it.
I suppose Steve left him orders to return if he didn't come back. Again, I say I haven't seen this one for a long time, despite having it on VHS and watching it to death. Back to the pirate planet. It's an interesting design of their little base there.
Spaceship approaching 1680 black, Commander.
That must be Steve.
No, it's going to be Robert.
It is. Look, he's coming in to land.
Oh, now we can see clearly because it's landing. It must be Steve. I'm also noticing the little vehicles down there.
Sounds like trouble. Let's get over to the launching pad and meet him.
Yeah.
Landing completed.
I also wonder if there were any other Anderson fans of my era who saw the XL5 comic strips being reprinted in the Thunderbirds comic, and were also inclined to seek the show out. I'm sure to a certain extent that must have been part of the reason it was included in the comic. Also, the fact that they were running out of Thunderbird strips.
If we give them water, how do we know
Pirate Captain has got gorgeous handwriting. I never noticed that before.
I could send out a patrol.
No, Commander. We mustn't do that. They would have their revenge on Steve.
Yes.
Water.
Water.
Not exactly a valuable commodity.
Unless you're a space pirate hiding out on the planet Aridon.
Aridon? The desert planet. Not even a conjurer could produce water there.
Aha, now we bring in the conjuring subplot. Very, very neatly done.
Venus and I will take the water in Fireball.
And then?
Suitably doped.
It should do more than quench their thirst.
Yes, we're coming up on an interesting conclusion to the story here. The hot sun on the planet Aridon.
Thirsty space feller.
Yes.
Easy with the water, Patch.
Yes, go easy, Patch. It may be your last drink.
Oh, they made the mistake of putting the water right next to Steve's feet.
I'll slit your throat from ear to ear.
Hold on, Patch.
He's also got a pistol. Never noticed that before.
Now we'll see who's the toughest, huh?
Said in the tone of voice where it's a foregone conclusion it's Steve Zodiac. XL5! Finally! What's this, 20 minutes into a 25-minute episode? There's the star vehicle. So I did get to see some XL5 on my first time out. Okay.
You know, Professor, I'm still doubtful about this plan of yours.
Well, I'm doubtful about letting you fly the ship, Venus, but I guess we're stuck with it.
We got it right.
Yeah, you don't often see Venus in the pilot's seat. That's quite daring.
No.
So it's off to the rescue of Steve. He's being held by the space pirates on planet Aridon. I love that this show shares the same planet naming mentality as Doctor Who. Planets are either named after their defining characteristic or they're just numbered.
are we from the desert planet now?
Well, you're the pilot, Venus. I think you ought to know.
We're not far off.
Otherwise, it means you're just flying blind. Well, eventually they'll get there. It doesn't look like Venus has taken her out of first yet. Back on Aridon, the pirates are starting to suffer. And we're going to get now a live-action insert shot, which is, again, quite rare for XL5. And it goes on relatively long. Oh, poor pirates. Poor Patch. You do get the sense of the heat bearing down on them. And now, mirage time. As they see, not water, they see a bottle of rum.
Oh, a lovely bottle of grog.
Yes. And it looks to me, is that, yeah, it does look like the hand is covered with like stocking or tights or something, maybe a glove, to give the impression that it's puppet skin, which is interesting. I'm kind of glad they didn't stick with that for Stingray and onwards. But somehow in black and white, that kind of works. Anywho, back to the waiting, the hot sun. Oh, Venus and Matt are here.
Oh, not another mirage. I couldn't stand it.
No, this is for real, Patch. Hiya, Venus.
Oh, it's good to see you, Steve.
Boy, this is just like Death Valley. No tricks.
Well, I suppose so.
Or your Colonel Zodiac will get it. Got the water. He's
It's an obvious joke, but I like the sight of the puppet waving a sword around very close to his strings.
How do I know the water isn't doped? Drink some yourself.
All right.
What would they have done if Matt hadn't been doing his...
Professor, please. Oh, fussy ain't she?
Cut out the wisecracks.
Yes, if the professor hadn't been doing his magic tricks.
There you are. I'm still standing.
Give us the water.
Yeah, I'm not sure testing it on Venus of all people is it's quite proof that it's not got something wrong with it.
2 lovely noggins of cool water coming up.
Okay. And that's interesting. Having just had a live action insert shot, we now have a close-up on a puppet hand holding 2 glasses and trying to fill them both from a bottle, and that was done with a puppet hand. That must have been quite difficult.
That's better. Ooh, nectar.
Oh, there they go. But why didn't it affect Venus? Well, the answer is obvious.
I drank out of a trick glass.
Hooray for me!
Glad it did.
Yeah. So, all the loose ends are tied up, bar one.
They don't look as though they'll go any more roving.
I always love when they take prisoners in XL5. Sometimes they put them in the brig, very often they bring them to the control room.
Hello, Steve. Hold your fire. It's only me, Joe.
Shiver me space timbers, it's jolly.
Ah, yes. I mean, that kind of gives the impression that sound travels in space, but in XL5 it
He
does.
was very happy to see Jock again.
Aw.
Gee, that was a swell story. Is it true?
I hope
Did
so.
it really happen?
Well, Jonathan, I leave you to decide that.
And I'll ponder why you have a handgun next to your bed.
Okay, Venus. It's a deal.
No.
Thanks for the story. Good night. Good night, Jonathan.
I wonder if that's the earliest appearance of the supercar comic up there on the shelf. It might be. And there's some nice music to close out what is a hugely nostalgic episode of XL5 for me. But I don't know if this one rates highly among fans of the series. It was interesting, as I say, this was repeated on Talking Pictures recently. And it was, I'm a member of a Talking Pictures Facebook group, and it was so nice to see people commenting on the show, this episode in particular, and leaving such lovely comments. It was just like, someone posted a picture of the captain, and just with a caption, "Space Pirates, LOL." it's lovely to see that, you know, so many years on, people are still responding to it. So yeah, I'm very glad to see this one come up today. I was very glad to see it on Talking Pictures a few weeks ago. It is an atypical episode of the series, bordering almost on a dream story, but I say I will never not be in the mood for this one. I hope that's not just nostalgia talking. I hope this is genuinely a good episode. If this is one of your favourites, or even not, do please let us know. Arr!